Charlie, forward, we draw the sword, forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. So, we're progressing rather slowly, as we are quite evenly matched all over the place. While we had initial success, there's still a lot more French troops to be defeated. And as much as I am recruiting 7 American regiments per turn, it's not really enough, is it? As well as the fact that I had to retreat from my, I don't know what, the Netherlands campaign here. But we have pretty good success here in Italy, where I'm hoping that Naples will fall, and with that we'll close out all of southern Italy, and then we'll combine these armies to go ahead and defeat the remaining part of Italy, which is controlled by the French and Spanish. Now, though, we're going to go ahead and end turn, and I'm hoping we don't see any counterattacks by the enemy. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of French troops, so they might very well come. At least they're going to terrorize the countryside, that's for sure. With that said, let's go ahead and end turn. I received an opportunity to intercept. We have an army of 4,000 men coming down on us, getting reinforced by... It's hard to see, but guessing by the numbers, I'm guessing that's not 1,082, but 4,082, so 8,000 men in total, which means that I'm outnumbered by about 5,000 men. And we'll start off the battle with heavy barrage by their howitzers, which is going to take a lot of my men. Now, I could go ahead and decline this, but I think that if I do, that's highly risky, because they could bring in even more men, and in that case I would be even further screwed. Now, the chance that I do think I have, perhaps, is the problem here with... So my chance is if I defeat the first army before reinforcements starts to trickle in. So as long as there are 20 units on the map, they won't receive reinforcements, and I defeat everyone so there's no fighting units on the map, I will win, and it will count as a victory without me having to fight these. The problem with this is the small units. The general units will be easily deleted and discounted from the stack of 20, and also, if they, as they will have to be defeated, they will retreat rather quickly off the face of the map, which means that I'll receive reinforcements, or they will start to receive reinforcements, and that is going to be very deadly. I think it's our best option to fight here, because I do think they're going to bring in more troops, and the battle is going to get worse. And I'd rather take this bet right here than face further forces later on here. So we're going to fight this battle. It's going to be quite tough, because if they're starting to get reinforcements, I'm kinda screwed. Let's hope we're not. With that said, let's go ahead and fight this battle, shall we? And here's the battlefield, and right before us we've got the General of Dual Fame, with his now famous sword. His new famous sword. The one that was gifted. Right. I'm thinking I am blessed, sort of, the fact that I'm able to deploy ahead, so I don't have that far to get to the enemy line. However, they are uphill, and I'm not entirely sure where they're positioned, their troops and so on. The idea here is that I will try and take out their cannons with the cavalry, or at least one side, because usually they deploy them to the flanks. I'm hoping anyways. Usually there's at least some batteries on the flank, and then what we'll do as they get close, that is when I go ahead and destroy them. Since they sort of have a lot of artillery, I'm not entirely sure they will come at me. So I will send forwards the Rangers to skirmish with the enemy militia line, which most of their army was made up of. A few older units as well. But try and skirmish with those and trigger them to come into an attack. That's when we push up, fire at them, and then go for close quarters. But first, we need to start the battle here, and I'm gonna start off my cannons by firing onto the enemy line. I'm gonna get Rangers up front, and I'm gonna get... wait. Okay, that... I was thinking I would... actually, I was mistaken. Cuirass shot is not that effective. Explosive shot is probably more effective. We'll target most of the main line here. Right, we are receiving fire from over here. Luckily for me, it's a round shot, so it's not all that bad. This is the kind of shot that I thought I was going to be able to fire, because that would have done a lot of damage on the main line, I'd figure. Okay, we got tons of generals. The units that I absolutely don't want to break, because that will lead to enemy reinforcements coming in really rapidly. Sending in the cavalry over here. Ordering these guys to leave. Not super effective, but we've done some damage. You should hold fire now, because I'm pretty sure you were firing over on this. Okay, the main line seems to be moving now, which means that these guys should now prepare for canister instead. I think it's better now when the enemy gets closer to fire the shot up here. I noticed that they are actually deploying their guns, readying them to be moved. God damn it, I lost way too many troops there. Right. So they're coming on. We're gonna fire and draw them closer to the line. I don't want to waste my shot on these guys. I'm pretty sure what they're aiming to do with these guys is just move in on my flanks. I'm gonna make a square right there. You guys are gonna continue to fire there. My cavalry survived. It should now move to hit these guys. Okay, so my lights are opening up fire, doing a little bit of damage on the enemy. Get closer to the line, and also, more importantly I guess, out of the way of the cannons. Right, my cannons continue on the mass formation of enemies over there. They are within canister range. I will open fire. You will head from that area. You can actually stay here just because. So far these guys are staying out of the fight, which is good. Looks like we got some pretty good hits. This one's lost almost 40 men. And there's a few dead enemies there. Okay, so I think the back line of Scots are about to open fire, so I'm gonna order the lights back into reserve position. The enemy lights are opening fire there. I'm gonna tell them to open fire now, and then you're gonna charge in there. You're gonna fire on that, you're gonna fire on that. This cavalry unit needs to go around and hit this guy, because he's now shooting straight into my cannons here, which I don't like. Okay, so you can see they're concentrating their troops quite a lot here. I'm gonna bring up these units and we're gonna prepare for a counter charge. Alright, you're dealing with that. You're gonna come around here. You are at fire at will, right? Yeah. Yes. And I will order these. As I imagine these guys are gonna just get closer and closer. I'm gonna aim at the specific position there. Okay, now you are gonna focus in on those two. I don't like that this guy is so far away. Okay, so the counterattack is about... I'm about to call it in. At any second here, this unit needs to be a closer eye on. I don't know if the cavalry can do it on their own. Okay, they are now kinda breaking here. So I'm gonna call in the back line, the grenadiers and troops to go in. These three units are gonna fan out, start fighting with these guys. Continue to fire on these. You will attack there. You continuously strike that one. And we'll fire a little bit more into this before we go ahead and charge. Wait. They're already receiving reinforcements, unfortunately. My plan, I don't think my plan might have ever worked, because they were so quick to receive reinforcements. Right, strike here now. And strike here, and strike hard and fast. And then you will hold fire. For now, anyways, it's just... It's just enemy generals. So it's not too bad just yet. What cavalry unit do I have here? This one. And now it's defeated, unfortunately. You two will continue after that. You two will go into that. Line. Move to here. Oh no, they've charged my guns with a stupid general. And my cavalry is stuck here, getting fired upon by friendlies, which is not great. Enemy general killed. Oh, there's their howitzers. Oh no, they're attacking my howitzers as well with the stupid generals. I guess it paid off for the French to have all those stupid generals. I'm gonna order one unit to continue charging after. One needs to turn up here and charge the French in the back, because otherwise it looks like this charge about to fail, actually. Oof, there's a lot of cannons and shit coming in there. And then the bastard French kept attacking my units. Hold fire there. You two will move forward like that. You will reassemble there, and then you can turn fire on this. I should not have been so eager to charge. Right, the Americans saved this right here, but as we can see, I lost 2 units in that fight, unfortunately. Oh, and as soon as I stopped chasing these bastards, well, one fucker rallied. My howitzers, the howitzers I have left, targeting the enemy artillery over here, but you can see, oof, it's not going too well. Thin line, far right forward. Cannons, hold your fire. You'll have to wait. Luckily those might continue to charge. Get rid of them. Get rid of all of that. And then in line we're gonna progress towards this. Oh, the enemy rallied and is now about to overwhelm the single American unit I have there. These 2 units will be ordered back. Well, these 3 units will be ordered back. They're not gonna have the time to go up there to save him, unfortunately. Right. We were victorious there. So now I just need this line to go ahead and advance quickly as possible towards this. I will set the sights quite far back, hoping to do a lot of damage to the entire area. Oh, we got horse artillery, so we got another enemy reinforcements coming in over here. I'll detach 2 units to deal with that. Okay, the bastards, they continuously rally their shit units everywhere. Maximizing firepower here. We're coming close. Hopefully, I'll end up below where their howitzers can actually hit my line infantry. Trying to figure out here. I'll order the lights inside the square to try and avoid getting hit by that general. Oh, large cavalry unit. That's not good. Right, we're trading fire here. Hopefully that will work out. I'm lucky here because I am kind of below. That's not good. That's not good at all. Here comes the enemy cavalry. The units around will form square in protection. Oof. We're about to get fired upon from over here. Now best. Didn't I break the square? I think the best course of action here is to charge the battery and get rid of it that way. Let's get back to take a look at what's going on here. It's going sort of fine. I'm gonna retreat a little bit. Okay, I've got 3 units retreating. There's tons of cavalry. The enemy artillery is riding straight into us. This part of the line will pull back and kind of cover this. I guess I was a little bit clairvoyant here that there was so much cavalry coming in, forming squares. We got more artillery. Didn't I order you to charge? We need to charge these batteries as well. It's a very close fight here. Perhaps these 2 batteries, or this battery right here, can aid. Right, form squares on the entire front line. Trying to protect against that. Didn't I order you to charge this? What the crap are you guys doing? winning here. Not so sure that I'm winning here. Hold fire. There's a high risk of friendly fire. You need to get a little bit closer here though. So you can aid. Right, there's only one unit left there. So that's good. What? You have yet? Oh, and the light unit got defeated by the cannon crew. And now you're getting charged by a stupid general. Charge after these. But I'll order the battery to open fire here again because the the line unit here struck us. And unfortunately broke the square. It's breaking a lot of units here. You know what? I'm going to lose this. I'm gonna take a lot of them with me. But I don't, right now, I don't see me winning this. Because we might have defeated the first army. But now the second army has some, quite a few thousand men coming at us. How have I not dealt with this? As long as they have cavalry units that are still riding about, I have there's no point for me to try and what's it called? Try and retreat my troops from over here. So as soon as the cavalry units are dealt with, my unit's gonna have to try and fall back here, and we'll try and reorganize some kind of defense around the canister. And if we're lucky, that will work. What are you doing all the way over there? Why are you constantly not doing what I'm telling you to do? Let's see. Their cannons are gone. Or not the cannons, their cavalry is gone. Right, all units retreat. Retreat! Oh, you're still firing that way. That's not good. And these other two batteries might be better now to actually try and target a specific enemy unit. Oh! I just noticed there's a bloody cavalry unit there. You guys are not interested in doing anything, are you? You could at least man like one gun or something. Oh, there's a lot of them coming out there, and it's full units. I'll just assume here that this was probably going to be the outcome, whatever the situation, just because of the fact that the garrison army was as weak as it was. The question is if I'll be able to deploy. I'll have to deploy this battery as soon as possible because they are running as fast as they can to attack me. Counterattack that. They are not allowed to get close to my cannons. This unit's fanning out, and we got units fanning out over here, so they're gonna come around and flank me, which is not good. I join the line. This line is not gonna hold for long. Okay, get behind the cannons. Perhaps I've stretched this line too thin. The enemy knows what's up. Unfortunately, I was hoping this general would have more of a long career after his initial failure. But it looks like this might very well be his last battle. Because the enemy is relentlessly attacking us here. Ooh, that was some really good hits. I think we're gonna have to turn canister this way though. Because they're about to charge me over there. But the Grenadier is back, put him back into the fight. And there's massive melee fight over here. And I'm gonna target right there. Oh, there's so many more men coming in, and the enemy is just relentlessly charging here. I want to see if I can get canister going in through all of this. That should be pretty good, and I could at least save that line for a little bit. Why don't you form square and increase that a little bit more of a chance to hold on. Oh, a Swiss regiment. That does not sound good. Oh, the units are breaking all around. Perhaps, instead of fighting here to the very end, once I realized I had failed the task, I should have just gone ahead and ordered a retreat. Right, we were overwhelmed and we were now forced to retreat. In hindsight, oh, there goes the general. He was killed. In hindsight, what I perhaps should have done is that I should have sit tight and fought more of a defensive battle against the enemy. Perhaps more of the army could have been saved, or the battle could have been saved then. But I figured at the time my best option was to strike, just because the enemy outnumbered me so much. Where they had close to twice my numbers. Valiant defeats. Don't see that very often, do I? Here's the result of the battle. The enemy deployed 9,000 men against my 3,500. The enemy ended up losing 5,000 men during the battle, but we ended up losing 2,600, which left us with 900 men. Unfortunately, a lot of those men scattered, and I think we're only left with less than 300 men actually making it back to Philadelphia. 12-pounder artillery did the most, followed by an American unit. That would have sort of given me hope that if I'd played it more defensive, I perhaps could have won it that way. But still, even with the fight that I put up, there was still like 4,000 men. Even if I had played defensive, would I have been able to break the enemy? And if I'd let them pass by not intercepting them, would I have brought in even more thousands of French troops? Most of the forces that were intercepted after the battle actually retreated away. However, the French still had another army. We've got 734 men led by the howitzer against 5,000 enemies. There is no chance in hell of a victory, but we'll have to make do and do the best of the situation. Here we go, the final defense of Philadelphia. I've been able to set up in this sort of ravine where we've got a load of impossible terrain, and they're gonna have to go in this up this very steep slope into fire from all sides. So a lot of this is covered by impossible terrain, so there's few areas that you can slip up through here, or you'll have to go through the main entrance, which is through here where I've got 2 units. And while they do that, they're gonna be harassed by fire from the hill. Obviously the light infantry has longer range, so they'll be able to fire beyond the range of the troops that are now advancing. The cavalry has set up right down there, but I think the real test is going to come when the enemy's infantry turn up. Now they're marching up in a thick blob up here, which is probably the most perfect target for my howitzer. I want to just make sure that we deal with this cavalry beforehand. I am pretty sure at this point that I will at least inflict a lot more damage on the enemy than what the enemy will inflict on me. And that's the hope anyways. Pretty sure the cavalry is about to be forced away any second now, so I'm gonna aim for these units down here instead, where I think we can do a lot of damage if we get the right shot in there. What the crap have you guys done? On your own, just deciding to reduce your firepower by such a margin. Yeah, there's no way cavalry is going to be able to make it up through here. Oh, the howitzer hit? I think that's an earlier hit, but this one mixed in with infantry. That's definitely now. Right, we've sent away all the cavalry, or most of the cavalry that's trying to make it up the slope. But now we're gonna deal with all this infantry that's coming up. So it's probably like 2,000 or so men. They're being led here by the cavalry. I'm gonna order the infantry to hold fire. So we will fire once they're closer. And this cavalry is not a cavalry unit that will be firing back at us. So, oh, now we're receiving fire from the enemy's cannons. not too bad though. They're just sitting there. Oh, and now they're pulling back. What are you doing? Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep deploying way back here? Your shots aren't even going to count from back there. The problem now, since they're no longer in skirmish formation, is obviously that the enemy's fire is going to be more deadly. I wonder here what's the last point in which the howitzer shot, where they can't fire any lower. Right, here comes the cavalry. Let's go ahead and end those bastards before they reach us. 24 of them. Even with just a handful of them, they continued. We shot down every single one. Right, they're being led by a general. Oh no, 4 guys made it away. They're actually going to try and force their way up this slope, it looks like. I don't even... They are returning a little bit of fire. There goes the general. The thing though is, if I can lock them in place here, or if they stay there, and it's a perfect sort of angle for the howitzer. Let's see where this shot lands. Right, it might be the absolute perfect angle to fire there. If they get too close, then I've got this regiment, which I'm now going to bring up just so I can get a fresh volley onto the enemy before they get too close here. So we're going to trade places with these guys. Oh, they're sending up all their French colonial troops up through here. Let's see, the howitzer needs to continuously pick better targets. I thought they'd be quicker to go ahead and fire there. They lost a lot of troops in that. It's probably better to do it that way when you're pulling back than moving forward, because they're taking so much time to get in position right. Right now, this is actually going pretty well. They've decided to form a square, even though I do not possess any cavalry. I kind of want to move one of the units over here to protect this, just in case the enemy tries to move through that way. Looks like a defensive battle would have been the better choice. Now, it's obviously different now because this is not the battlefield that I was gifted in the previous battle. So the situation would have been different if I decided to make a defensive stand in that battle than this one. Plus, I think it was less troops, right? But I think at this point it's safe to say that we have done very well for ourselves against the enemy force here. And we are holding on. Philadelphia still belongs to us. The French keep coming up these slopes. It's like the Battle of Bunker Hill, I guess. Sort of. They keep coming up. I don't think the Americans had howitzers though, which greatly helps us here. And the fact that the howitzer is angled in such a way that it can continuously fire here all the way until the very end. Until they get all the way up here. I was so sure that this was gonna be a defeat. Now I'm kinda like, can I dare hope for victory? And now I'm trying to think, how many enemies were there actually gonna come at us? The enemy's cannons are angled in such a way that their guns are not effective against us at all. So what on paper looked like it was gonna be a very clear... Ooh, that shot right there! I was worried about these because this is marine units, and I imagine they have pretty good accuracy. I was worried if that one fires, that they would able to take out quite a lot of my men. We are starting to lose a little bit more over here, so I'm gonna move these troops over here to take part in this. But I would say that it's quite clear at this point that defeat is not necessarily on the cards for me today. We had a valiant defeat, and then it turned into this. One thing is though, we have used up about half of our ammo at this point. So at a certain point here, our ammo will run dry. And I'm not entirely sure if there's gonna be more reinforcements here. A couple of units are quite low on manpower. They're trying to bring up that howitzer, and I don't know, there's a colonial militia way out there. I can see more and more of them are retreating though, just by the sheer amount of other units in the vicinity retreating. There are reinforcements stuck here. I'm not able to enter the field. Oh, you're not actually within range of any of these. I need to move you up then to aid in the struggle here. Native bowmen. Aim for this, that's quite close. Actually, you might want to aim down here at this, because these bowmen are gonna do quite a bit of damage on me. I'm a little bit worried here that this one could definitely start doing some damage on us. Let's see, we're breaking another unit over here. There's 58 of these guys. There's 100 here. I'll allow these units to retire momentarily just to bring up this unit, because I think this garrison unit is not all that good. And this French colonial unit, when that fired, it actually took out a lot of my rangers. So I need to aim for him. Alright, 168 muskets are about to volley down onto the enemy. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that those native bowmen are slowly picking off these guys. Are they not receiving any more? I think the reinforcements is bugged over here. Which means that I could very well now end up winning this battle. If they're not able to bring in any more guys here. You know what? I'm gonna get this unit down here and charge through this battery. And as they do that, these units gonna be moved up again in order to fire at will. We're gonna see about winning this battle. Right, come on, give me some good hits here. Yes. That's exactly what I want to see. Now you're gonna force your way through that battery. And once you're done with that, you should go for actually probably double back and get. Ooh, that was a good hit. That took out half what remained of that unit. And now all these units are leaving the field. You should go actually for this one. Now when this threat is dealt with, you should deal with this gun right here. But now, as you're attacking this, you're gonna get attacked from both sides. I think it might very well be worth it to dish out and take out this battery. And now the colonial militia decides they want to try and charge you. Oh, you are very poor morale, so I'll go ahead and form you into square again. Aim at this, because these guys are still fighting. This, it seems like this is it. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of these guys then. I'm a little bit surprised, I must say, at how accurate the howitzer has been. Okay, so unfortunately the garrison troop were beaten back by the militia. But I'm now we're now coming down out of the our defensive position to take care of the last enemy units here. I guess I'm kind of lucky that they were bugged here. I wonder though, is it one of those where I have to run out the time because it's bugged like that? Or if we will just be able to take this battery out and then it's declared a victory. The amount of French troops that lie dead here. Oh, they rallied. Good. They realized, you know what, we can't leave the battlefield. Look at all of the dead French troops here. We're so clearly winning this battle. It would be a shame, really, to leave at this point. Are you not within range, or why are you guys not firing? I'm gonna send the Americans over to go ahead and charge down this gun. Alright, the militia is about to give way. And here comes another round of howitzer shots, which should really have been fired against these guys. 34 men, 37. A very much a legendary victory here is about to occur. But it is very close battle. It's a very close battle. How are we not, like, how have we not won this already? The angle is really bad firing at these guys, so all of these should be firing on him, and then the howitzer can deal with that. I would charge here, but I figure that... Oh, they're ready to set up, actually. Okay, now you should switch. Actually, we see how close we dare go, and then shoot them down. And then that one's getting cut up. And howitzer should actually hold fire at this point. What am I waiting for? Setting up to shoot them is only going to cost more. There we go. He's gone. That one's stuck. And now these guys retreat. And with that, I defended the mountain pass. Seemingly here, though, it does not give me victory, which means that this, I guess this unit's actually technically on the field. Now I could, I guess, go ahead and try and fire on him. The dangerous part here about defeating that unit is that potentially breaking this unit would not win the battle, but instead it could potentially bring in more enemy units. So I guess to play it safe, I'm better off running out the time. 34 minutes though, but there we go. We somehow we managed to win this battle. Well, would you look at that? We have a decisive victory. A French force of 6,000 men against a Scottish force of 734 men. The French end up lose 2,600, leaving them with 3,700, which doesn't seem to add up, does it? Or does it? Yeah, it does actually add up. I thought perhaps it didn't. The Scottish lose 312, which is almost half the force. Looks like one of the Rangers, unfortunately, was killed during the battle, so that unit is gone. We have a remaining force after the battle then. For the French, 3,700. For the Scottish, 400 men. We kill 4 men due to friendly fire. While, I don't know how we only killed 779 while they lost 2,600. That's a discrepancy of close to 1,000 men, which is kind of crazy. Howitzer killed the most at 400. Garrison at 367. Grenadiers 283. The other Grenadier 235. Unfortunately, it looks like one of the Grenadiers also is gone then, right? Yeah. York Rangers. Right. The question is, will they have more stacks to pull on? Because there's no way I'm repeating this victory right here. And there we go. There was no more counterattack. The question is though, unless I'm able to send troops down there, I don't think it'll be holding even with the reinforcement of 7 American regiments. Unless I get to retreat up the hills again. We're gonna go through this quickly because I think that this is otherwise going to be a pretty long episode. So we lost enough troops that Pennsylvania is now actually kind of in a little bit of disarray. Gonna go ahead and replenish that. We need another. Now the defense of the town has completely fallen on Americans. I think for this now is that heroic death. That's unfortunate. I was hoping so much that we continue on his story because it was such... It fit so perfectly with the sword and everything. Anyways, we got tons of cannons, tons of troops recruited all over the place. We got a few raids, but otherwise the enemy don't attack or move forward that quickly. Bavaria is destroyed. Okay, so the Prussians have moved in, taken Bavaria, which clears my flank if it ever was threatened, but also pushes the Prussians closer to the front line there against... they're also at war with the Westphalians and Württemberg. So Württemberg is right there, and then Westphalia, and then the French. So the Prussians are doing something, which is good. I'm still a little bit pissed after last time where Denmark said no to setting up a trade agreement with me. And they're like, no, you're my vassal. You're literally paying tribute to me for me not to absolutely crush you. So I don't know what you think you're doing. Unfortunately, this is not close enough for a quick outer assault, so I'm just gonna lay a siege, but that might be just as well. This army is doing so and so. Right. I think what we'll go ahead and do is I'll just organize, and then we'll get back to what we're doing in the next episode. Look at how few enemy troops there are here now. That we've cleared up so much, and so many of them have retreated away. What I need to do though is I need to spearhead an effort in the next episode to connect these two by taking Albany, New York. So it might be better, rather than taking this army and focusing here, it might be better to take it down here and try and go for relieving Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, before we lose that. But with that said, I think there was an interesting episode with a lot of twists and turns. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.